Explore West Virginia like never before. Mysteries of the Mountain State. Paranormal West Virginia uncovers haunted histories, cryptid sightings, ghostly encounters, and unexplained phenomena across the Mountain State. From the Greenbrier ghost to the Seneca Rocks phantom, each episode brings true stories, eyewitness accounts, and historical context to life. Whether you're fascinated by paranormal investigations, cryptids, UFOs, or haunted locations, this podcast delivers spine-chilling mysteries backed by research. Discover the legends, the evidence, and the eerie experiences that have shaped West Virginia's paranormal reputation. Listen if you dare, and join a community of explorers who seek the unexplained in the hills, forests, and hollows of the Mountain State. Episode 3, The Greenbrier Ghost, the haunting that testified in court. Some mysteries linger in the woods and hillsides. Others enter the courts and become part of the legal record. Tonight, we examine one of the most extraordinary events in American history. This is the case of Elva Zona Heaster, a young woman whose 1897 death was ruled natural causes, until her mother claimed that Zona's spirit appeared in the night and revealed the truth. The resulting investigation led to an exhumation, a murder conviction, and the only known court case in the United States where ghost testimony influenced a verdict. This is the story of the Greenbrier ghost. Lewisburg, West Virginia in the winter of 1897 was a small, close-knit community of farms, small shops, and simple mountain life. The air was cold. Snow gathered against fences. Wood smoke drifted from chimneys. People lived quietly and knew one another by name. On January 23rd of that year, the body of 23-year-old Elva Zona Heaster was discovered in her home in the remote community of Livesay's Mill. A local boy who had been sent on an errand found her lying at the bottom of the stairs. Her husband, Erasmus Trout Shue, arrived soon after and carried her lifeless body upstairs to the bed. When Dr. George Knapp came to examine her, Shue behaved in a way that struck witnesses as strange. He cradled Zona's head, held her close, and refused to let the doctor inspect her neck or head area. He dressed her himself for burial, wrapping a high-neck scarf tightly around her throat and placing a veil over her face. Dr. Knapp, prevented from doing a full examination, recorded the cause of death as everlasting faint, a vague term often used for unexplained cases. To many, the case seemed over. Zona was buried on January 24th. But for her mother, Mary Jane Heaster, nothing felt right. Mary Jane had never trusted her daughter's husband. Shue was considered handsome, confident, and charming, but he had a past that rarely surfaced in polite conversation. He had been married twice before. His first wife accused him of beating her. His second died under unusual circumstances. Mary Jane believed something terrible had happened to Zona. She prayed for answers. She begged God to reveal the truth. According to her later testimony, she received an answer far beyond anything she expected. Over 4 nights in late January, Zona's spirit appeared at the foot of her mother's bed. These were not dreams, Mary Jane insisted. They were visitations. She later described them to investigators in vivid detail. Zona appeared wearing the dress she had been buried in. Her cheeks were pale. Her eyes were sorrowful. She spoke to her mother and told her she had been murdered. She said that her husband, Trout Shue, had attacked her in anger and snapped her neck. To prove this, the apparition reportedly turned her head completely around, showing that the vertebrae had been broken just below the skull. Mary Jane said she felt Zona's presence, saw the movement, and heard the voice clearly. Each night, the spirit returned, repeating the same story. When the visitations stopped, Mary Jane went to the local prosecutor, John Alfred Preston, and told him what she had witnessed. Preston was skeptical, but Mary Jane was unwavering. She also shared practical concerns that strengthened her argument. Shue's behavior at the funeral, the scarf wrapped tightly around the neck, the doctor's limited examination. Preston decided the case needed further review. On February 22nd, 1897, Zona's body was exhumed. Crowds gathered near the cemetery, whispering and watching from the road. Dr. Knapp and 2 other physicians performed a full autopsy in the nearby schoolhouse. Upon examining the remains, the doctors found the bones of Zona's neck completely broken. The windpipe was crushed. The ligaments were torn. The cause of death was unmistakable. She had been strangled. This ruling launched a full investigation. Suspicion focused entirely on Trout Shue. As the doctors prepared their report, Shue made unsolicited, incriminating statements about his innocence. Residents noted that he seemed more concerned with being seen as a gentleman than with the loss of his wife. When the autopsy results were released, Shue was arrested and charged with murder. The trial began in June 1897 at the Greenbrier County Courthouse. The prosecution presented the physical evidence proving that Zona had been strangled. They also introduced testimony about Shue's past marriages and violent behavior. The defense attempted to discredit Mary Jane, hoping to portray her ghost story as superstition, but this effort backfired. During cross-examination, the defense asked Mary Jane whether she had truly seen her daughter's ghost. Instead of wavering, she doubled down, calmly recounting the details of each visitation and repeating Zona's accusation under oath. Even though the court did not officially recognize the ghost as evidence, Mary Jane's unwavering testimony left an impression on the jury. They believed her sincerity and felt convinced that she would not fabricate such a story without reason. After only an hour of deliberation, the jury returned a guilty verdict. Shue was sentenced to life in prison. In 1900, he died of illness at the West Virginia State Penitentiary. Did the ghost testimony legally convict Shue? The official record says no. The cause was the autopsy, the physical evidence, the inconsistencies in Shue's statements. But the cultural record tells a different story. Mary Jane's testimony changed the course of the investigation at a moment when no one else was pushing for answers. Her insistence motivated Preston to reopen the case. Her certainty influenced public opinion. Her account shaped the tone of the trial. Historians agree this is the only known case in America where alleged ghost testimony formed a meaningful part of a murder investigation that ended in a conviction. The grave of Elva Zona Heaster, Shue, still stands in Greenbrier County. A historical marker near the site tells the official story and acknowledges its unusual nature. Local residents continue to share the legend, and many believe that Zona's spirit fought for justice when no one else could. Whether one believes the supernatural claim or sees it as the determined intuition of a grieving mother, the outcome remains the same. The truth of Zona Hester's death did not come to light until the story of the Greenbrier ghost broke the silence. A young woman's hidden murder, a mother's unshakable certainty, an exhumation that changed legal history. The Greenbrier ghost remains a powerful reminder that mysteries in the Mountain State do not always stay buried. In our next episode, we explore a creature described as massive, pale, and silent, seen gliding through the night streets of Grafton in 1964. Make sure to like, share, and follow so you never miss an episode. See you in the next episode of Mysteries of the Mountain State, Paranormal West Virginia.
What if everything you've been told about healing, consciousness, and reality is only half the story? Boundless Authenticity isn't just a podcast. It's a raw, unfiltered journey into hidden truths mainstream avoids. Radical thinkers, spiritual pioneers, and fearless healers awaken what's been dormant inside you. And now, Boundless Authenticity proudly sponsors Mysteries of the Mountain State, exploring West Virginia's most chilling paranormal stories. Search Boundless Authenticity Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.